Good evening. This meeting will be interpreted simultaneously into Spanish. If the English speakers would like to hear any comments or questions made in Spanish, you can click on the interpretation icon, which will be at the bottom of your screen once it is activated, and choose the English channel. Muy buenas tardes, bienvenidos y bienvenidas a la reunión. Esta reunión será interpretada simultáneamente al español. Para escuchar en español, por favor, haga clic en el icono del globo que se encontrará al pie de la página en cuanto inicien los servicios de interpretación y elija su idioma español. Si tiene algún comentario o quiere hacer una pregunta en español, se la interpretaremos al inglés. Muchas gracias.
Thank you so much. Our interpreters this evening are Julie Burns and Annabella Tidona. Thank you both for your time and services. Chair Ariano, when you're ready, we can proceed with the meeting.
Okay, thank you. Good evening and welcome to the Independent Redistricting Commission's March 3rd, 2022 regular meeting. This is a hybrid meeting with limited IRC members and city staff present in council chambers, while others participate remotely to ensure proper social distancing in this federal, state, and local emergency. I would like to introduce the staff and commissioners present. Staff includes City Clerk Judy Herron and Administrative Assistant Sarah Sandoval. Commissioners present are Commissioners Ballas, Earhart, Saad, and Vice Chair Gilmer. And I believe we have alternates. Commissioner Alternate Kissel is present, Commissioner Hill, and Commissioner Walter are absent. Administrative Assistant Sandoval, would you please provide instructions to the commission and members of public on how the meeting will proceed this evening?
Thank you, Chair Ariano. At this time, we ask that the members of the IRC who are attending this meeting virtually remain on screen, or excuse me, deactivate your webcam and microphone except for when you need to speak. Members of the public who are in virtual attendance and wish to provide public comment can do so by engaging the raised hand feature at the bottom of the screen. And if they are calling in from a landline or cell phone, press *9 to raise their virtual hand. This concludes the instructions, and I return the meeting to the chair.
Thank you, Ms. Sandoval. That brings us to agenda item C, public comment. Under public comment, the public may address the IRC on any subject not listed on tonight's agenda. Each speaker may address the IRC once under public comment for a limit of 3 minutes. Please clearly state your name and address or the political jurisdiction in which you live. Also note, the IRC cannot act on items not listed on the agenda and therefore cannot respond to non-agenda issues brought up under public comment other than to provide general information. Ms. Sandoval, would you please call for any general public comment?
Thank you, Chair Ariano. At this time, for any member of the public wishing to comment on any subject not listed on the agenda, please engage the raised hand feature at the bottom of your screen. For those calling in from a landline or cell phone, please press *9 to raise your virtual hand. This will be our final call for public comment on subjects not listed on this evening's agenda. Seeing no hands raised, Chair Ariano, please continue.
Okay, thank you. That brings us to agenda item D, consent calendar. Under the consent calendar, the IRC may take action to approve routine business items in one motion unless a commissioner, city staff member, or member of the public requests that an item be discussed or continued to a later date. Ms. Sandoval, please call for public comment on our consent calendar.
Thank you, Chair Ariano. At this time, any member of the public wishing to comment on the consent calendar Item D1, accept the Independent Redistricting Commission meeting minutes for February 24th, 2022. May do so now. Virtual attendees can go ahead and engage that raised hand feature at the bottom of your screen. And those calling in from a landline or cell phone, please press *9. This will be our final call for public comment on item D1. Seeing no hands, Chair Ariano, we can continue.
Okay, thank you. Any discussion or questions from the commission on our loan consent calendar item? Seeing none, is there a motion and a second to approve the consent calendar?
I move to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
I second the motion. This is Commissioner Saad.
Okay, thank you. Ms. Sandoval, please state the motion and call for the vote.
I have a motion on the floor by Commissioner Ballas and seconded by Commissioner Saad to approve the consent calendar. Are there any further commission discussion or questions? Seeing none, by roll call vote, Commissioner Ballas,
Yes.
Commissioner Earhart,
Yes.
Commissioner Saad,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gilmer,
Yes.
Chair Ariano,
Yes.
and the motion passes unanimously. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. That brings us to regular business, item E1, our mapping tool workshop. I believe we have our consultants from Geo and Novo on the line. Mr. Alex Sands. Mr. Sands, please, floor is yours.
Thank you, Chair Ariano. At this time, I'll go ahead and start my screen share, and we'll go ahead and jump right into our mapping workshop. We will briefly cover all the functionality on the Districtor tool and provide some other updates as a result of comments from the last meeting. Okay, so just as a refresher for the commission and members of the public who may be joining us today, this is the Districtor tool. There is an event page. If you go to districtor.org event/mp-maps, or you can find the link on the Menlo Park Redistricting website. From there, we'll go, if you click on the purple button, that'll take you to the module to draw draft districts. So we'll go right in there. And as a follow-up to public comment and commission discussion from the last meeting, we do have some updates specifically regarding the Districtor tool and the geography that's available to anyone who might be using Districtor. We have been in touch with the Districtor team, and at this time, we are expecting that the geography will be, and population statistics in the application will be updated by no later than March 9th, 2022. If the Districtor team is unable to make the updates at that time, we have been working with city staff to come up with an alternative solution. So with all that being said, we'll go ahead and jump into the tool. If you see in the top right corner here, you'll see the primary navigation and function tools for Districtor. So you'll see in the left side here, you'll see the pan tool, just like in a Google map. You can basically click and drag to pan around and view different portions of the map. This paintbrush option, you'll see this brush size slider here, and basically with the slider you can select the brush size anywhere from 1 to 100. Smaller brush size allows you to select with more precision and as few as one census block at a time. increase the brush size all the way, and then that allows, enables the ability to select many census blocks per click. So we'll go ahead and just draw a draft district. And if you'll notice here in the pane on the right side, as you select census blocks in the districtor tool, you'll see that the population count of the selected census blocks will go up interactively and in real time as blocks are selected. And it'll also show a deviation. So this deviation is going to be for only the draft district. So if, for example, the city council Menlo Park has 5 districts for 5 council members, that this statistic right here will display the district that has the highest deviation from ideal, which in this case, as of today, would be 7,001. As previously stated, we are working with the districtor team to update this as soon as possible. So I'll just select a few more here just to show the changes in the population variance, and you're just kind of seeing that update in real time. And if, say for example, in this case, for the section selected in yellow, I'm above the ideal by slightly over 1,000. This erase tool, if you click on this little eraser button, same thing as the paintbrush slide, you can make it smaller to select fewer blocks or make it larger to select many. We'll go ahead and just click on an erase, and it will actually remove census blocks from the draft. Again, the counts and the variation will decrease in real time as well. Another item here is if you go to the data layers tab, so just below the main tool set, your primary tab here is going to be population, which is going to show you your interactive drawing progress. Data layers, these layers, most of these were provided by the City of Menlo Park's GIS team to provide context for anyone who might be using the map. So we do have some very useful items. I know that we've had some public comment regarding school districts as community of interest. So we have the elementary school districts here, neighborhoods defined throughout the city. And again, great work by the Menlo Park GIS team to provide all this data for the application. Flood zones, again, this is going to be, generally the current District 1 area close to the bay, flood zones, and then the different water districts that intersect with the City of Menlo Park boundary. And then last but not least, this may be of interest, particularly for communities of interest or for, keeping certain population groups together. But we do have this multifamily parcels tool. This is also a nice reference for viewing where you might find pockets of high population density around the city. So again, that's all available through this data layers tab. And we strongly encourage anyone using the tool to explore these and use them as a reference point if needed. The last item here is the evaluation tab. This is very closely related to what is being drawn with the paintbrush. So as you see, I have the one district in blue, and it will give me a demographic breakdown of the blocks selected in blue. If I select another color, let's go with this hot pink color as an example, you'll see that evaluation tab update in real time, and the different colors will be added as I add draft districts to the map. So again, we're seeing this demographic breakdown. These 3 groups, white, Hispanic, and Asian, are selected by default. However, there are, I think it's 8 different ethnic group selections. So you can select any one of these, make them, split them up however you'd like on the map. If there's a certain protected class group that you'd like to focus on while drawing your draft districts, you're certainly welcome to explore this data as well. And then last but not least, we'll go to this the magnifying glass, which is the inspect tool. If you hover over any census block, that will provide a breakdown of the population and demographic statistics within that particular census block. So as you see, I'm hovering over the map here. and it actually provides real-time feedback, which is particularly useful, especially if you're getting close to completing a draft and you just want to be able to move around, 1 or 2 blocks, near the edges of a district. This is a great reference tool to help you complete your map and achieve population balance. Once a draft is completed, let's see, this is a bit messy, but we'll just say that this is a draft that we're going to work with. We can click this save button in right above the data layers tab. And you have the option here to either share now, which will publish the map to the public gallery, or label it as a work in progress. In this case, we'll call it a work in progress. Clearly, we're not done drawing 5 council districts. So we'll call this mapping workshop test. And we'll go ahead and save it as a draft. Oh yeah, and one other thing, you can also copy this the URL. So each draft is given a unique ID. The URL can either be copied to the clipboard, or you can just copy and paste it directly from this window and share it through email, social media, or other means for sharing web links. So we'll go ahead and save that as a draft. We'll go back to our events page. Events page. We'll refresh here. And you'll see the public gallery. These are the maps that have been published as completed drafts. And you'll see the section below that says works in progress. Load those drafts. And here's the draft plan that I just submitted as a work in progress. I can come back at a later time and publish this to the official public gallery. One thing that may be useful for anyone creating a draft is that you cannot go back and rename it once it's been assigned a name. So just be sure to assign it the name that you want, and we'll again, the GeoNovo team is monitoring this site very closely, and we're processing the data as it comes into the Districtor tool. The last portion here will be communities of interest. The drawing functionality is actually very similar, nearly identical to drawing districts. The only difference being that there are no specific requirements for population balance or variance, because we're not drawing council districts. These are specifically intended to be communities of interest. So for example, if you wanted to keep a specific neighborhood or area within a single district as a community of interest, this is the place to do it. So in this case, we'll select the Allied Arts Stanford Park neighborhood. That's a clearly defined geographic area. And we'll go ahead and just start selecting census blocks here. And we'll clean that up with the erase tool at the end. There we go. And the same rules apply for a community of interest on the save, with the one big difference being that we can call this, let's see, we'll just call this a COI test, because we don't want to confuse anyone in the gallery. Neighborhood. And you can also provide a description. This can be as little as a few characters up to a few sentences. So feel free to provide details, as these are helpful to our team as we're processing data for communities of interest. And same thing, save. We could share now, call it a work in progress. We'll call this a COI test mapping workshop. And that covers the main functionalities of Districtor. Again, it's designed to provide a lot of data in an easy to use and approachable web application. So we hope to continue seeing the public engagement from not only from the IRC, but also from the residents of Menlo Park. And that will conclude our demonstration.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Sands. This part will open it to public comment. Ms. Sandoval, do we have any public comments on the presentation by Mr. Sands?
Thank you, Chair Ariano. At this time, any member of the public wishing to comment on item E1, the mapping tool workshop, may do so by engaging the raised hand feature at the bottom of the screen or pressing *9 from your landline or cell phone now. We do have a hand.
Yes, I see that. Looks like Ms. Dean.
Thank you very much. I do have a question. I remember in one of the earlier sessions, I believe it was Pam Jones indicated that she had uploaded maps that were used in the previous redistricting process. Are those available and online? I looked for them and I couldn't identify them. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Dean. Mr. Sands, are you familiar with the maps that Ms. Dean is referring to? And if so, are those among the ones that we have in Districtor?
Yeah, I can take that, Chair Ariano. So we have not uploaded anything specifically for current districts. However, I'm going to go ahead and start my screen share here again. And again, we do not collect identifiable information through Districtor, but we did have a draft that was labeled as current districts right here. It does appear to follow the current district lines rather closely. But again, this is not official data from the census or official data from GeoNovo, but it is something that was submitted by a member of the public. We just, as I mentioned, we don't collect identifiable information, so we cannot verify who submitted this map at this time.
Understood. Looks like we've got another hand raised from our attendees. Oh, yes, Ms. Jones, please.
Hello, this is Pam Jones, and I wanted to answer Fran Dean's question. And because I started to upload and then I changed my mind, but I do have a link to the hard copy. So if you would like those, Fran, would you just email me and I'll send them to you? Thank you. That's all I had.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, this will be our final call for public comment on item E1. Once again, if you'd like to make a public comment, please engage the raised hand feature at the bottom of your screen or press *9 from your landline or cell phone to raise your virtual hand. Chair Ariano, that appears to be all the hands that we have.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Sandoval. Let's bring it back to the IRC for any discussion or comments, questions. Do my fellow commissioners have anything to share? Okay, seeing none, I think we can move on. Thank you. Brings us to agenda item F, reports and announcements. F1, commissioner reports. Any reports or announcements by the commission members since our meeting of last Thursday? Okay, seeing none, I think we can.
Chair Ariano, this is City Clerk Karen.
Yes,
I would just like to make a quick brief announcement. I did
Okay.
want to thank our public speakers at our last meeting. who brought to light the issues with the district boundaries on Districtor. And just a huge shout out to Gio Novo, who has been working very diligently with Districtor to get those rectified. As mentioned in Gio Novo's presentation, those should be done early next week, no later than March 9th. But again, we do have the backup plan for a subsequent tool that we can deploy immediately. But again, I just wanted to tip my hat to our public speaker who brought it to our attention, as well as our demographer who made quick work of getting that fixed. Thank you.
Chair
Thank
Ariano, I'd like to have a brief comment, please. This is Commissioner Saad.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
So last time we talked about public engagement efforts. I think there was one more item that was about to happen, which is the sign that will be hung on Santa Cruz Avenue. I'd like to hear an update from the city, whether this happened and whether there's some uptick in or other marketing efforts that are being taken, and whether there's some responses to our marketing efforts that we did. I believe what we have is we have the banner on the website. I'm not sure if there are any statistics, whether people are clicking on it or something like this. I'm trying just to gauge whether our efforts are panning out to get more traction with that. Thank you.
Through the chair, again, this is City Clerk Karen. I can comment on the question from Commissioner Saad. At this time, we do not have an update on the banner hanging. However, we will be providing probably an update to the commission with more of those statistical requests at it won't be the March 10th meeting, it'll be the meeting following. Sarah and I, as well as Claire, Public Engagement Manager, can get an info item to the commission to see if we're able to get those analytics on kind of what's being clicked, when it's being clicked, how many clicks we're getting, and all the other efforts that we have been making. Again, just kind of compiling that and getting that to the commission. Secondarily, we can also shoot an email to the entire commission with more of a brief update and give the more detailed update as an agenda item to the next regular meeting.
Okay, I think the commission would appreciate just some additional information around the efforts and you know, and any more information you can provide in terms of, you know, who's looking at our website and how well the engagement efforts have been working. I think I saw a hand in chambers. Is that Vice Chair Gilmer?
Yes, it is. I have a question, and I just don't have the dates in front of me. Maybe we can clarify. What is the date to submit district or maps by? What is the end date that those are due?
And through the chair, again, this is City Clerk. The last day for map submission is March 25th.
And if we're, okay, so a follow-on comment, if we're delaying, if the districts, the boundaries won't be completely accurate until potentially 2 weeks before that date, does it make any sense to extend that, or should we keep that date as is for now? That was it.
Unfortunately, we cannot change that date. That date is set because there is a 7-day requirement to allow people to have comments on those maps. And they're just, with the timeline that we're given, we're unable to extend that. And that's true for any jurisdiction.
Okay, anything further? Okay, with that, we will adjourn. Thank you to everyone from the public who attended, and we will see you all here next Thursday evening.